Hello, people. I'm back with the 2 Cents, my podcast. I'm your host, Nino. First of all, I appreciate all of y'all. Continue, please, hitting that like button. Continue them subscriptions coming. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you to my fans, my audience, and my listeners. This topic, women or woman dates a son, breaks up, and end up dating the dad. Now, is that cool? People, I can't make this up, man. These topics just be coming. A woman dates the son, end up breaking up with the son. Now she hollering at the dad. Is that cool? Hey, man, I love it. Here I go. We're going to start out with Chantel. A 24-year-old woman is been dating Tayshawn, a 26-year-old man, for about, I would say, 8 months to a year. Tayshawn awfully admitted that when him and Chantel got together, it took a while because she was playing hard to get, you dig? You know, she like, I don't know, man. You know, I want to be single for a little bit right now. But Tayshawn said, you know, Chantel was the apple of his eye. He wanted to get with her. He seen something in her. You know, when he sees something that he like, he gonna go for it. So he was very persistent. You know, so he went after it. It took Tayshawn a minute to get Chantel's attention, but he finally got it. So he continued to try to court her, and then the fruits of his labor was rewarded. So they began talking to each other. You dig? So that's how that went. That was crazy. It was crystal clear that at the beginning she wasn't interested. But again, we don't know. That just allegedly, you know. So we'll just see. But again, persistence was great. So, you know, that's all good. And he was a persistent young male creature. I have been persistent before. Sometimes women just don't want you to give up, peeps. They don't. They play their little old games too. Yeah, I said it. They play that little old game that, you know, they hard to get and they not interested or whatever. But they just gonna see is you gonna fall back and give up. Because, you know, women want to be worth the struggle, worth the fight, worth the chase. So again, you know, she probably was just playing that, but again, Tayshawn played Chantel right. He didn't give up, so he finally got her. You know, so that was cool. Chantel had a nice little job, nice little employment, had a little old loft doing her thing, you know. A woman, independent woman, don't really need a man, you know, but she's doing her thing, had a nice little old car, whip. Always dressed nice, fresh, smell good, kept her hair up, nails done, everything like that. Tayshawn had a pretty decent job, you know. He worked at the independent school district. You know, he wasn't no lazy guy. He wasn't no deadbeat. He wasn't no sucker. He didn't try to just lay up off a woman. But one big drawback, and you know, school district had excellent benefits. Because I see now, peeps, when women hollering at you and they seeing how you bring in the bag and everything and how you getting your money, you dig, they want to see also, especially if you working, what them benefit looks like. What your stock plan look like, you know. You got stocks going on, you know, you doing something extra. You trying to flip that money the legal way. Not flip it the illegal way, flip it the legal way. You got stocks, you know. You putting up 401k plan and all that, doing all that. So see, women, one thing they focus on, besides your attraction, your respectability, are you nice, making sure you're not a nutcase, you know, you're not a monster or whatever. They checking out that financial pace. I mean, they checking out that financial pack, you know, what your bag look like. So they checking out all of that, and that was just a great thing. But as I was saying, Tayshawn didn't have his own spot or his own casa. See, he was living at home with his dad. And I can tell you about this. peeps, you also know you can have a nice job. You can be great, respectable, you know, don't mind buying your lady or your lady you just start to hollering at, your potential new boo or whatever you want to call it, your new love interest. You know, you can be a certified handyman with your hands and everything, can fix things for and everything. But women want a fella that has his own spot, even though they have their own spot. A woman wants a man that has his own place, loft, casa, residence, or whatever you call it. And Tayshaun seemed like a stand-up guy, and he had everything going. But for some reason, that this, I couldn't put my finger on it as the story came to me. Maybe he was just waiting to save up or whatever. Tayshaun couldn't get him a spot. You know, he can give him, I'm not going to say a pimp pad, because, you know, I'm not saying a man a pimp, but he can get him a little old man cave, you know, somewhere where if he have a little old lady friend over, he can take her to. Just like she has her own spot, because remember, all the prior time they was meeting and having engagements and chilling, they were just going to Chantel's spot. But she like, nah, Tayshaun, let's go to your spot. But Tayshaun didn't have no spot. So anyway, Tayshaun was living with his father, Samuel. This is Samuel, you know. Samuel was 60 years old, had did a little bid in the Air Force, got out on honorable discharge, you know, got a job at Lockheed. Samuel doing this thing. Samuel, the dad, was 60 years old, but he was a youthful 60 years old, you know, keeping himself in excellent physical capacity, excellent physical shape, you know, keeping himself up. He doing his thing, you know, he ain't showing a lot of wear and tear. Okay, think about it. Now, he got that military money you did, and then he working at Lockheed. Man, he get into the bag where he finna he's 60 years old, so he trying to put in a few more years there. I mean, I don't know how long his time had been at Lockheed. I don't know exactly when his honorable discharge was with the Air Force, but this thing, if he almost didn't put 20 years in at Lockheed, or even half of that, you know, and he get 20 years at Lockheed on top of that military money, this man got some serious dollars, some serious dope. This man is a money mint, if you can dig what I'm talking about, you know. But it was all cool, you know. It was all good. That was it. But anyway, so now when Tayshaun has to invite Chantel over, they have to come over to his dad's house, to Samuel pad, you know, and chill. Now, Samuel's going to be there in attendance, because that's his place. Now, already it had been a little friction and static and a little tension between Chantel and Tayshaun, because he don't have his own spot. So, you know, she, a lot of times, is putting it on the back burner and really didn't want to complain and nag about it, but she thinking, you know, she didn't give him a little signals and warning, like, hey, Tayshaun, when you don't get your own place, buddy, you know, because, you know, I'm dating you and everything. I want to come to your crib, you know. I want to come and you have your own place. I want to be in the privacy of your spot. We done been over to my place in the privacy of my spot. This is what Chantel, I believe, relates to Tayshaun. But she's like, I want you to have your own spot so we can have privacy over there. So, for some reason, Tayshaun, you know, he just put it on the back burner. So, things go on. Still time elapses. The hourglass is turning. Tayshaun still hadn't got his own spot. So now, Chantel called it quits. I guess she said, well, I done gave him a chance. I gave him a probationary limit. He's making enough money. Why hasn't he got his own place? I don't know if Tayshaun, how it came to me, was just trying to get his money up, save, and then go for the gusto and get him a home or something big like that. because, like I say, he was working at the school district, making nice money, he had the benefits and everything, and maybe he was just one of them dudes that, his dad gave him the green light that, you can stay here with me long as you want to, till you get yourself comfortable, till you come. Because you gotta remember, Samuel was single too. He was getting to the bag and he getting to the money, but Samuel was single too. So that's how that went. But anyway, so they would meet at Samuel's house, and so they, the tension started brewing, and I'm talking about Samuel had a dope crib, a dope layout. I mean, the house was great. I mean, he had the whole layout. He had a 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom, 2-car garage, new edition home. I mean, he doing his thing. But you gotta remember, again, this man just came honorable discharge out the Air Force. Almost did a certain stint at the Air Force. He getting paid. The Air Force pays too. All military gets paid, but I think the Air Force is one of the biggest payers, and maybe it's the Navy, then I think it's the Marine, and it's the Army. I don't know if it goes in that certain order, but I think the Air Force is the top gun when paying, in the military. So, his crib was laid out. So now they was almost about to call it quits. So now Chantel comes over there and she chilling with Tayshawn and then Samuel, and she sees this house, and her eyes just pop out. See, this is what she envisioned Tayshawn to have. This is what she envisioned down the line when she meet whoever she gonna meet and spend a long-term lifetime with, the kind of house she seen. Still, right then and there, she was just probably like, I wish Tayshawn would have had an apartment. But she seen Samuel crib, he had it laid out, and then she was like, man, she was liking this. So, they all be chilling. Samuel, Tayshawn, and Chantel, and then Chantel and Samuel had great chemistry. They had a good vibe together. So anyway, to make a long story short, they end up, I think Chantel went on end up and calling it quits. Because she seen now that, Tayshawn ain't gonna do nothing. He just gonna, I don't know if she seen Tayshawn as a spoiled little dude, because I think Tayshawn was the only child. I don't think he had no more siblings or nothing like that. No more brothers or sisters. I don't think Samuel had no more kids. So maybe he was just spoiled, and sometimes when you're spoiled, it's hard for you to lead a lair, even though you should lead the lair, whether you are a male or female. Because see, you used to getting everything. So I don't know, but anyway, she went on, called it quits, and so now she is single, and now of course Samuel is single. So I guess they had a few more encounters and meetings. So remember, I told you guys, Chantel and Samuel, the dad, had a good vibe together. So this how a woman works, and I know women love it. Chantel saw that dope house, Samuel had probably a nice ride car. She seen him get into the bag. He's a 60-year-old gentleman, which, a lot of women love an older man anyway. Because, as I said, Chantel, I think by that time, she was 24 when she first started talking to Tayshawn. He was 26, but now she's about 25. So what's that, 35 years different? But see, now, she sees Samuel looking nice, service man, serve his country and duty, gonna be by his business, very disciplined, gonna handle business. Plus, he keeps himself in excellent physical capacity, and he get into the bag with this nice house. So, yeah, you know what I'm finna say. She took her shot and shot her shot at Samuel. So, doing that, Samuel is single. Now, I know a lot of people gonna think, oh, I know when she took her shot at Samuel. And Tayshawn is Samuel's son. No way Samuel gonna say yes to that. Samuel did not. He agreed. He went forward. I mean, how the story went, I believe they cleared it with Tayshawn, because remember, Tayshawn is still at Samuel's house. But they had to clear it with Tayshawn because Chantel and Samuel started dating. They started dating. Yeah, you heard it. They started dating. Finding out they were, she had to keep it cool though, because, it was compatible feelings. She just had broke up with the son, which is Tayshawn. Now she hollering at the old man, which is Samuel. So now, Chantel feelings have this are going to end up involving her feelings, moving into, just jumped out of one situation and now leaping into another. But the ironic thing about it is, both situations are from two participants come from the same tree. That's basically living in the same house. That's basically occupying the same space. Tayshawn the son, Samuel the father. You dig what I'm saying? So that went down like that. I mean, this was crazy. Now, look how society probably looked at it. The masses gonna take all this, and many are gonna say that's disrespectful, while some see it as cool as no problem. When the topic was brought to me, and I read the whole little old bio about it, I didn't see where it had became friction or nothing had went wrong with not this Tayshawn and Chantel, but Tayshawn and his father Samuel. So it had to be an agreement. They had to keep it respectful, not disrespectful. They had to communicate. They had to make sure that it's not a problem, because it was nothing said. Now, they might have had a little disrespectful problem, and maybe they just left this out. But I did not see it in the bio. I did not see it as it had came to me when it was sent to me. All it was saying was, a woman dates the son, again, that's Tayshawn, breaks up with the son, again, that's Tayshawn, and then she's dating the dad, and the dad is Samuel. So, that was crazy. But Tayshawn, as what I heard, as Samuel and Chantel went on start dating, I don't know if it had went any further. I don't know if it's mutual. I don't know how they up the stakes, or have the dating has went on, or they still kicking it. Before what I know is, I don't know what Tayshawn ended up doing. He might still stay at the house, but Samuel and Chantel kicked it. Now, I don't know if Chantel moved in. She probably just kept her space because she already was playing with fire. Stopped dating the son, broke it out with the son, and started dating the dad. So she probably just kept her little space she had, and then came over and kicked it or chilled with Samuel. But I'm pretty sure they went out to dinner dates, went out on, things that was happening in the city. They was out in society. They might went out to plays, or what I heard, they even went out to the games and things like that. So they was out and about. So the moral of the story, Tayshawn was cool with that. I believe Tayshawn probably was on a mission where he didn't take it as, he didn't take it disrespectful. He like, all right, well, that's my dad. I'm not going to trip off that, because no matter what, that's my dad. That's family. I'm not going to let a woman break up my dad, because my dad has been holding it down for me. I don't know, I'm just saying. Because it was none, as I said again, it seemed like it was disrespectful. But, that's crazy. I think a lot of Chantel breaking up with Tayshaun, though Tayshaun had a job, you know what it was. He wasn't lazy or refusing to go to work. Tayshaun just didn't want to get his own place. And for the diggings of me, I don't know why he wanted to get his own place. See, Chantel seen how Samuel was rocking the rewards of his grind from serving in the military at the Air Force, and now he's out even working at Lockheed. Again, he got that long money, military and that Lockheed money. So, this nice big house layout, 3 bedrooms, 2 baths, two car garage, that's a beautiful thing. Not to mention, on the other hand, that turned Chantel on. Because see, that's what a woman is looking for. She seen all of that the dad, Samuel, was having and possessed in stability. Not saying that Tayshaun can't do this, but Tayshaun went on that right now. See, Tayshaun's still young. He's 24, 25, 26 years old. He's still young. He still can't decide what he really want to do, even though there's a lot of people at that age already mature and doing their thing, but he's still like living under dad's rule. So he's still kind of, confused. But the dad had it going on, Dad is by standing 10 toes down, handling his business. And that's what Chantel seen. See, Chantel, in her mind, she like, the dad is what I'm looking for. Because the dad, by me hollering at him, or want to holler at him, that's what she believed her personal value was. She believed that's the kind of man she needs, the kind of treatment she deserves. And she wasn't settling. No knock on Tayshaun, but she wasn't settling, and she wasn't going to go out of her boundaries. So, but that was as crazy as that would be. And from what I'm hearing, I guess the dad and Chantel are still dating. I guess Tayshaun will eventually, I don't know, I haven't did no, I haven't did no get back on that. I haven't did no follow up on that. See what they doing. So far as I know, there are 3 people still based in the same household, but it went from one relationship to now it's another relationship. But again, I don't think it was no drama, no animosity, no larceny from nobody, especially from Tayshaun the son towards Chantel, the female that he was dating, towards Samuel the dad. But that was just a crazy story. But I just had to say that to y'all people because, like I said, I love it. Keep it coming. A woman or women that dates the son, break up with the son, is now is dating the dad. A woman that dates the son, broke up with the son, and now is kicking it with the dad. 2 cents. This is my podcast. I'm Nino. Thank you.